Brakes, suspension, and steering is a foundation of any truck build, and when it came time to choose those components for our Week-to-Wicked C10 build, we decided to go to the source, Classic Performance Products. I'm here with Jim Reese and Danny Nix. Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we got here?
Well, we've got a complete suspension package, front to rear. We have brakes, we have a rear end, we have steering column, steering box, really everything bumper to bumper to lower and improve the steering, brakes, and suspension on this old C10.
Jim, that sounds great. I also see a set of drop spindles with some big brake kit installed. Danny, why don't you grab a couple of these? Let's go take a closer look. Danny, it looks like we've got all the CPP brake components laid out here in front of us. Why don't you walk me through everything and tell me a little bit about it?
All right, well, to start with, we have the CPP Hydrostop master cylinder and hydraulic booster. It's going to go up on the firewall, connects to the pedal in its original mounting spot. Next, we have some pre-bent hard lines. This is going to go from the valve up here on the master cylinder all the way down to where the original valve was on the truck, which we're going to eliminate. It comes with some fittings and unions to tie right back into the original lines.
Okay.
We have 13-inch front rotors. These are on a 2.5-inch drop modular spindle. Lets us change out the brake kit pretty easy. Got the 13-inch brake for the front, 12-inch brake for the rear. It has the parking brake built into the caliper. We supply a new parking brake cable set that's going to connect to the original cables up underneath the truck about where the cab was, and that's going to run back all the way to the calipers. We have some nice little clamp pieces to go on the axle, hold the hose. It's going to connect to the rear axle hard line. It's going to run down the axle left to right side. We have, because we're replacing the rear axle on this truck with a 9-inch style rear end, we have this little T-fitting and clamp again that's going to go in approximately the same spot that the original brake line tab was welded to the axle, but since it's not welded on anymore, we have a little kit that gets us around that. With that kit, we also have a new rubber brake hose that's going to go up to the frame, so it'll tie right back into the original brake line in the back. Then we got some brackets. These are going to go on the rear axle. Nice thing about this is we've included a bunch of spacers. There's different sizes so that in the end, to whatever offset you're running on your 9-inch style forward rear end, it's going to fit.
Very nice. Now I see a metering block up here. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what's involved in that?
So this is our stop block kit, and what you have is the front and the rear lines coming in. It has an option for a brake light switch.
Okay.
We're going to remove this and use the original switch under the dash when we get done with the installation. And then we have an adjustable proportioning valve for the rear brake, and this obviously lets us adjust the brake balance a little bit more. We want to fine tune it for maybe you got a bigger size tire or something and it's just not quite right. We can adjust the brake balance right there.
Very cool. And this is going to give us plenty of stopping power front and rear with those large diameter rotors.
Yeah, we sized all of this really coming from an OE application. The vehicle weighed 8,000 pounds. It had a 7,000 pound towing capacity. That's a lot of tonnage there.
A lot more than we're going to have in this little short bed.
These brakes, they're not going to give up. You're gonna absolutely love what you get.
Well, Danny, I'm very impressed by the kit, and I'm really looking forward to getting this on the truck and getting it out on the road and testing everything out.